Okay, hello, Talmadge Smedley here with T's Doghouse, and once again, coming to you from the doghouse. I have Chelsea here. This is our second day with Chelsea. She's an English pointer. She came from a good home where she was treated well. But she didn't have any kind of real formal training. She just had some run of the backyard and lived in a kennel, associated with people. Didn't pay a lot of attention to me when I got her, or any attention to me, or show that she really knew her name. So that's where we're starting, and just with formal training. But I do know that she's had exposure to a number of things. She's been out in the fields, looking for birds, and has shown a desire to point birds. So definitely not a case of neglect or mistreatment with this dog. Good family, just needs to learn basic communication and how to look to humans for leadership guidance. Needs to be met, dreams to come true. So second day in the obstacle course. I videoed yesterday, so you'll be able to find that online if you didn't see it. I also did a video of me just spending a little bit of quiet time with her, rubbing on her ears and teaching her some, trying to instill some positive words for her, some marker words, yes and good. Also trying to get her to recognize her name a little bit. She's not showing a lot of desire for a treat. I did get her to eat a few morsels of food off the ground, and eventually when I put it in my hand, if I had 10 or 12 pieces in my hand and put that down on the ground, she would eat it out of my hand. And that was close to dinner time. Anyway, but no real food drive at this point. We'll see if we can build that, because I think it's great, very, very helpful in helping get them to do the things we want them to do, and have a positive relation to doing those things. So I shot a video a minute ago. A text message came through. I didn't have my camera on, or my phone on airplane mode, so it came through and stopped everything. And so I had some technical difficulty, but I did spend about 5 minutes going around the obstacle course. So we've made a little bit more improvement than we had before. I wish I could have shown that to you, but you'll get to see it now. You notice she's standing with a loose lead. That's definitely not the way it was yesterday. Anytime there was slack in the lead, she was taking that slack out of the lead. So I'm pleased with that, and she is starting to look to me to try to figure out what direction we're going. The obstacle course is quite tight to try to keep it in the view of the camera, but I don't mind that, because the more often we change the directions, the more chances I get to communicate through the lead, and I want high levels of repetition. I want to be communicating a lot through the lead, because that's going to become our go-to source while we teach her what the words and our verbal communication means, and as she learns what our body language means. So as we're building those 3 lines of communication, the first one, and the one that I use just a lot to teach the other ones, is the lead. I believe most dogs don't have any real communication through the lead. It's there to restrain them and to captivate them and to hold them, but not there to communicate with them. And so that's what I'm building here in the obstacle course. So as I walk through the course, I'll talk some more. I'm still walking silently. I don't think there's any reason to, add a word to anything until I feel like I have the ability to make sure that she can fulfill the verbal command with my guidance with the lead. Because they don't communicate a lot verbally, there's no ability to sit down and just explain something to her for 20 minutes and have her do it, of course. And so at this point, a lot of vocabulary is going to do no good. But you can see she's really starting to follow this lead and letting me direct her to do a lot of things out there on the end of that lead. And little bits of pressure is helping her change direction. In fact, sometimes there's no pressure and she's changing the direction. I'm going to start marking some things positively, because I've been building that ability yesterday as I just spent some time with her and petting her. So I'm going to watch for times that she finds the right place to be, which would be more of a healing position. And I'm also going to watch for times when she looks back at me to help mark that. Good. Good. Yeah, good. Good. Yes. Good. Now that she's willing to step up on the pedestals, which I did a couple times on the video that didn't work. so that wasn't the first time, obviously, she's been up there. I'd gotten her up there 2 or 3 times before. You know, and I spend a little bit of time petting on her when she gets up there so that she thinks it's a favorable place to be. All right, there, she took some treats out of my hand, even showing she'd like some more of that. Chelsea, Chelsea. Yes. Yeah, that's good improvement. She's starting to really relax and understand. Chelsea. Chelsea. Yes. 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 We'll see in a minute if we can get her up on the double tires. So right now I'm not putting her in the heeling position. Yes, good. But they tend to start to find it on their own as you change direction enough. And we'll see that over the next few days. Which is going to make it a lot easier if I start marking that choice that she makes on her own as being something favorable. She starts finding it on her own. It's a lot easier to teach them to do something they think is already a good idea. That's one of the benefits, I think, of the obstacle course and of a lot of direction changing, is they just start to figure out what the best way to walk on a leash is. And then it's very easy. Like I said, if they've figured it out on their own, then it's really easy to teach the command for it because they already think it's a good idea. We'll see if we can get her up on this double stack of tires. When I'm doing this, I'm trying to keep them, yes, good. If you watch, there was a tight lead. She was leaning on that collar to go left and right. Sometimes they'll even try to go backwards. I'm using the lead to block those choices so that when she makes the choice to come forward and get on the tire, then there is a release of the pressure. That's a lot different than using the pressure to lift her up onto the tire. You know, I want to use that pressure to block so that she gets the pressure when she's doing the choices other than what I'm asking. But when she steps forward and goes onto the tire, that's a release of pressure. Good. That's going to come into play a lot when we put her in the heeling position as she gets good enough on the lead that I can do that. Because we can't hold them in a heeling position because that creates pressure where we want them, and they're going to try to leave that spot. So just like I've done right there on the tire, we'll do the same thing eventually in the heeling position where the release and the rewards come when they're in position and the pressure comes when they get out of position. Get up. Good. Good. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Come on. Good. Good girl. You can see she's letting me, you know, direct the side she's on, and I can do some directing of her away from me rather than just drawing her to me. I can direct her around the table. Good girl. Good. See if we can get her all the way up. Good. Yes. Good. Chelsea. Good. Chelsea. Chelsea. Yes. Good. Yeah, I'm very pleased. She's starting to hook to the tree. She's starting to turn her head a little bit when I say her name. Chelsea. Chelsea. Yes. Good. Good girl. Good girl. All right. Good. Yes. Yes. Good. Good girl. All right. Yes. Good. Here. Here. Yes. Good. Good. Here. Chelsea. Yes. Yes. Very pleased. A lot more focus on me. You know, yesterday I had a really hard time, even getting her to look at me long enough that I could pet her face, pet her head with her nose pointed at me. She was wanting to always be looking other places, but she's starting to hook up, if you will. She's starting to pay attention and realize that I have some value in her world. So thanks for joining me, and we'll check in again tomorrow when we work her again here in the doghouse.